Why do women tend to want the person who isn't pursuing them? There's an almost alluring quality to a guy who isn't actively pursuing her, but is it merely a game, or is there something deeper at play? In this video, we'll unearth why women frequently crave romantic relationships. The men who pull back. These are the men who demonstrate emotional restraint and genuine indifference. If you've ever wondered why your silence or lack of pursuit makes her come running back, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why being less available is not just a tactic, but a mindset shift that leads to genuine confidence and attraction. Here's where Stoicism comes in. This ancient philosophy offers us powerful tools to stay composed, maintain our self-respect, and project a quiet confidence that many find irresistible. Why less is more. In the early stages of a relationship, emotional attachment can be your biggest downfall. When you become overly invested too soon, she begins to sense it, and instead of feeling flattered, she perceives a subtle shift in the power dynamic. You become overly available and eager. It's ironic that as men, we often want to show our affection, express our feelings, and tell her how much she means to us. However, when we overdo it, when we show our vulnerability, it often has the opposite effect. She begins to perceive you as less valuable. Why? This is because attraction stems from desire, and desire thrives on a sense of mystery and uncertainty. If she feels like she already has you, the chase is over, and with it, her interest starts to wane. Imagine this: you're dating a woman you really like, and things seem to be going well, but then she starts to pull back, worried you try harder, texting more, being more available, and expressing how much you want the relationship to work. Instead of getting closer, she distances herself even more. Why? Because you've shown that your happiness relies on her attention and validation. Now picture the opposite. Instead of chasing when she pulls back, you take a step back too. You stay calm, focus on your own life and goals, and don't seek reassurance from her. You give her space to miss you before you know it. She's the one reaching out, trying to reconnect. Your calm response creates a void she feels the need to fill. The Stoics teach us that true strength lies in controlling our desires and not becoming emotionally enslaved by things outside of our control. Epicurus claimed that individuals are more disturbed by the judgments we make about things than by the objects themselves. If you're continuously looking for her approval and affirmation, you're ceding control. Through detachment, you show her that you control your own destiny and can leave if things don't work out. That's exactly what makes her want to stay. Instead of rushing to fill every silence with words, let her experience the space between. Instead of chasing after her, concentrate on creating a life that she wants to be a part of. Men who seem to have everything under control, including their emotions, captivate women. Their actions carry more weight than any expression of affection could. The secret to mastering attraction is to master yourself and not let the need for approval from others influence you. She will sense your wholeness and gravitate towards it, much like a moth to a flame. The second is the power of patience. Picture yourself just starting out. The power of patience. When you see a woman you truly like, things are going well, and you sense a spark between you. Your natural instinct is to move things along and intensify your relationship because you don't want to lose this connection. However, there's a catch. It may seem counterintuitive, but in the early stages of dating, patience is not only a virtue, but also a powerful strategy. By taking your time, you're allowing the attraction to develop naturally rather than trying to rush her feelings. For example, let's say you've had a couple of wonderful dates. You feel the chemistry, the conversation is flowing, and you're tempted to take things to the next level as soon as possible. You might think that texting her constantly or demanding the next date right away will demonstrate your interest, But what usually happens is that she begins to feel overwhelmed by the mystery. After a great date, instead of sending her a ton of messages and trying to arrange the next one right away, consider stepping back and wait a few days before contacting her again. You're not neglecting her. Rather, you're allowing her some time to miss you, leading her to wonder about you. She mentally reenacts the date, begins to feel the excitement building, and eagerly awaits your call. By not hurrying, you've sparked her interest and desire and given her a gift, the time to consider and desire you. According to the ancient Stoics, patience is the source of true wisdom. A Stoic individual refrains from letting fear dictate his actions, trusting that his destiny will unfold gradually through careful consideration. As Seneca famously stated, patience is the companion of knowledge. When you rush, you're acting out of fear that she could lose interest or find someone else. You're showing her that you're confident, and don't rush things because you know how valuable you are. Patience makes a strong statement. You're in control, you're not desperate, and you're willing to let things happen naturally. This is very attractive because it demonstrates emotional strength and tells her that you're a man who has his life together and isn't looking for someone to complete him. Instead, you're just looking for someone who enhances the life you've already built. Consider a fire as a force. If you attempt to force it by adding excessive fuel too quickly, you risk extinguishing it. However, if you let it build slowly, adding just enough kindling at the right times, it grows into a strong, steady flame. By exercising restraint and patience, you're allowing that fire to grow naturally, giving her the opportunity to experience the thrill and anticipation that comes from not knowing when she'll see you next or what you two will do together. This mindset shows her that you're not in a rush because you're confident in what you offer and secure enough to let her see your worth. When she does, she'll be the one who wants to close the gap. So the next time you feel the need to speed things up, remember the Stoic principle that patience is the companion of wisdom and trust in the process. Take a step back and watch as her desire for you grows stronger with each moment you wait. Now that we've covered the power of patience and how it can change your dating dynamics, I would adore knowing what you think. Have you ever seen the benefits of patience in a partnership? Perhaps you've tried hurrying things only to watch the spark go out of your eyes. Post a comment below with your thoughts or any queries you may have. I look forward to reading your thoughts and continuing with our third conversation. Why money and appearances? Why beauty and money are insufficient. Society frequently tells us that the best ways to get women are to have money, attractive looks, and status. If you have the right work, it's straightforward to believe it since we see it in movies, on social media, and even in casual discussions. If you drive the right car or have the ideal body, women will line up to be with you. But the harsh reality is that these things won't hold her interest over time. If you've ever wondered why a guy with a fancy car and pricey suit still ends up heartbroken, it's because he's focused on the wrong things. What really makes a man attractive isn't his wealth or appearance. Rather, it's his character, the way he handles himself, his confidence, his self-discipline, and his resilience. These are the qualities that keep a woman interested for a long time. Women are initially drawn to these external attributes, but after the novelty wears off, they search for something deeper, something genuine. The charm of superficiality fades away. Picture this scenario. There's a man who's got it all. On the surface, he's wealthy, drives a luxury car, and turns heads wherever he goes. Women flock to him at first. Resilience. These are lifestyle and the image he projects. He's the life of the party, always in the spotlight. But as time goes on, something changes. He starts to notice that these relationships fizzle out quickly. The initial excitement is there, but it doesn't last. Why? because beneath the surface there's nothing substantial. He hasn't invested in building a strong character. He's relied solely on his looks and wealth to do the talking. Once the thrill of the lifestyle wears off, women begin to see through it. They realize he's more interested in impressing others than in cultivating genuine connections. He's rich in material things but poor in inner virtues. Now imagine another man. He might not have the same financial success or the chiseled looks, but he's grounded, confident, and knows who he is. He doesn't rely on external things to define his worth. Instead, he focuses on developing his character, mastering self-discipline, and building a life of integrity. The Stoics had a clear understanding of where true value comes from. They believe that external possessions are fleeting and can be lost in an instant. Although he is not the loudest person in the room, his presence is felt by women because he exudes a quiet strength and a sense of self-assurance that money cannot buy. He is the type of man who makes you feel safe, respected, and understood, and that is what keeps a woman coming back long after the shine of superficial traits has faded. According to Epicurus, prosperity is not found in having many material belongings, but rather in having few desires. Beauty and status are like leaves in the wind, always shifting and never really ours to keep onto. The Stoics encourage us to focus on our character, discipline, and how we handle life's obstacles in order to develop our value from the inside out. The way you move through the world changes when you adopt this mindset. Instead of pursuing things to impress others, you're working on becoming the best version of yourself. This type of inner strength is captivating because it's uncommon for most people to be obsessed with outward accomplishments. But the Stoic man understands that true value originates from inner virtues, so don't fall for the delusion that appearances and money are everything. Beal of a reaction may capture her attention, but they won't win her heart. Instead, concentrate on cultivating your inner qualities and growing into a man of depth and character, as this is what really makes you valuable. When you exhibit this Stoic knowledge, your beauty only gets stronger over time rather than fading. You will be the man she never wants to let go of. Number 4, not simply the one who gets his foot in the door. The signs of calmness. The signs of calmness, self-assurance. The truth is, when a man rushes into things, it screams insecurity and indicates that he's pushing too hard out of fear that she might leave if he doesn't quickly lock her down. Women naturally gravitate towards men who seem to have alternative options, and they can detect this as a significant turn-off. Men who are calm and steady, rather than in a rush to make things formal, demonstrate true confidence. Consider this. When you take the time to get to know a lady, you're conveying a strong message. I know who I am and what I can offer, so I don't need to rush, but I am interested. In a world where most guys are eager to impress, this type of tranquility is uncommon and instantly distinguishes you from other men. The second one, however, takes a different approach. He is pleasant and engaging during the date, but he doesn't immediately follow up with a barrage of texts. Instead, he waits a while, letting her wonder what he's up to. He's not playing games, he's just living his life in her head. She begins to think about him more, replaying moments of their time together and wondering why he isn't chasing her like everyone else. At that point, she begins to crave him. The man who isn't rushing in the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Only fools rush." By taking a step back, watching, and then acting with intention, the Stoics taught us the virtue of composure. When you move slowly and deliberately, it demonstrates that you have emotional control. This inner strength is quite alluring, as it demonstrates your substance and resistance to influence. Knowledge guides you instead of impulse. Using Stoic principles in your dating life means valuing your peace of mind over the momentary excitement of pursuing someone. It's about realizing that your value lies not in how quickly you can win her over, but rather in the depth of your presence and the calmness of your demeanor. When a woman senses this calm, confident energy, she realizes she's dealing with a different kind of man, the kind she can't have easily, and that makes her want him even more. In other words, the man who doesn't feel desperate for her is the one she ultimately craves the most. Do you agree with Drew that composure is a sign of confidence? How have you personally witnessed this manifest itself? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, or simply type the number 5. Why limited access? I am confident in my ability to calmly reinforce your commitment to using this Stoic approach in your dating life. Your ideas may inspire others, and we can all learn from each other's journeys. Why access is limited rises. Desire grows stronger. It is an all-encompassing fact. People tend to desire items that are more difficult to obtain. Consider the most sought-after items, high-end brands. They intentionally limit availability rather than mass-produce their goods, since scarcity adds value and communicates that what they have to offer isn't merely commonplace, but unique, and only a select few can possess it. The same idea holds true for attractive AC behavior and relationships. If you are too available, you end up looking like that generic item on every shelf. But if you are selectively available, you become something much more interesting that she can't readily obtain. Let's look at an example. You've met a woman with whom you click well, and she texts you frequently. You always reply immediately, so you're always available when she wants to hang out, and you adjust your schedule to accommodate her. At first she seems flattered by the attention, but soon you notice her enthusiasm fading. What happened? You made the classic mistake of being too available instead of feeling valued. She starts to feel like she's got you wrapped around her finger, and the excitement wanes. Now, picture a different scenario. Instead of dropping everything the moment when she calls you, respond when you're actually free. Sometimes you take a few hours before texting back, not because you're playing games, but because you're genuinely busy living your life. You have your own priorities, your own passions, and your own plans. When she wants to meet up, you're not always free. You suggest another day instead. This isn't about being dismissive. It's about showing that you have a life that doesn't revolve around her, and that's exactly what makes her want you more. In her eyes, you become a man of value, someone who isn't easily swayed or available at a moment's notice. You've created a sense of scarcity, and now she's the one wondering when she'll get a chance to see you again. The Stoic philosophers were well aware of this idea and taught that material possessions don't always represent actual value. We cherish what is rare rather than what is common, according to Epictetus, and this approach is ideal for modern dating. Dynamics. If you appear overly available, it can be interpreted as a lack of priorities, thereby reducing your perceived value. However, by limiting your time and attention, and not always being available, you demonstrate discipline and self-respect. You're not giving her all of your time because you're busy focusing on what matters, your goals, your passions, and your growth. This scarcity makes her see you in a new light. You're not just another guy trying to win her over. You're a man who values himself, which is uncommon in the end. Women seek men who don't make themselves too accessible because it shows strength, confidence, and self-respect. She keeps thinking about you in dating because it's valuable but not available to everyone. Value is created by scarcity. She'll appreciate you more when you limit your availability and show her that your time is scarce. Number 6. Building respect, not just attraction. Only the attraction. The physical attraction energizes the butterflies, the chemical. Making a new connection can be exhilarating, but if your focus is solely on attraction, you're overlooking the broader picture. Attraction may bring you in, but respect maintains your presence. It's simple to attract someone's attention, but it takes genuine character to gain their respect and loyalty. High-worth men are aware of this distinction and concentrate on developing respect because they understand that it is the foundation of a lasting and meaningful relationship. Chasing after ephemeral attraction is like building a house on sand. It may look appealing at first, but it won't last. The perils of living for other people's favor were evident to the Stoics. Instead of trying to please her, be consistent and true to your values. When you strive to please, you transform into a chameleon, constantly adapting to meet others' expectations. But when you desire respect, you remain steadfast in your values, regardless of the circumstances. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be." A Stoic man doesn't bend his principles for the sake of approval. He knows that real respect is earned through consistent, authentic behavior. He doesn't put on a show or try to impress her with grand gestures. Instead, he lets his actions speak for themselves. He shows up when he says he will, keeps his word, and treats everyone with the same level of respect, whether they can offer him something or not. This kind of consistency is rare and deeply attractive because it signals strength of character. Respect isn't just about admiration, it's the bedrock of trust and loyalty. When a woman respects you, she feels safe with you. She knows that you won't compromise your values or betray her trust. She can rely on you not because you're perfect, but because you're honest and dependable. This is what transforms a relationship from a fleeting fling into a committed partnership. Think of respect as the glue that keeps a relationship together when the initial excitement, physical attraction is important, but it's often temporary. Orrery. What remains when the first excitement fades is who you really are. If you've established a relationship based on mutual respect, it will grow stronger over time. However, if it was only ever about the superficial spark, it's likely to fade. Leading doesn't mean being domineering or controlling. Rather, it means having a clear sense of direction and being confident enough to steer the relationship forward. Focusing on earning her respect allows you to take the lead without fear of short-term disapproval. This type of leadership is very appealing because it demonstrates your strength, dependability, and ability to handle any situation. That adopting this Stoic mindset transforms you into a man she's proud to be with, one she can trust, and one she'll never want to lose. I would love to know what you think. Do you agree with the Stoic idea that you should earn respect through your deeds? How do you emphasize respect in your relationships? Leave a remark below with your viewpoint or kindness. As a reminder of the significance of this perspective, let's talk about how putting respect first, rather than chasing attractiveness, can actually change how we approach relationships. I earn respect by my behavior. Number 7. The strength of apathy. Let's begin with a fact: the influence of apathy. In terms of relationships, the majority of guys are simply too reactive. They become emotionally enmeshed at the first sign of rejection or affection. Understandably, when you have a deep affection for someone, it's simple to let your emotions pull you in all directions. However, few men understand that the true power of indifference is not being cold or heartless, but rather having the emotional self-control to stay steady and unaffected no matter what happens. This ability to accept or end the relationship and be content with whatever happens is exactly what women find appealing. Consider this situation. You've been seeing someone for a while and everything seems to be going well. Then all of a sudden she starts behaving aloof, withdraws, takes longer to reply to your texts, and appears less interested in setting up plans. Most men would instantly become alarmed and try harder to win her back with powerful gestures and more messages. But all this does is demonstrate to her that she is in charge of your emotions and that her actions may upset you. Imagine a different response now. Rather than pursuing her or attempting to analyze every move she makes, you stay apathetic and observe her retreating, but you choose to go about your daily life as usual, going to the gym, hanging out with friends, and concentrating on your own projects. You've mastered the art of indifference, not because you don't care, but because you refuse to let your happiness depend on her behavior. She notices this calmness and emotional stability, and it causes her to pause. Now, instead of you chasing her, she begins to wonder why you're unaffected, as everyone else would be taught that some things are up to us, and others are not in the context of relationships. This means that you cannot control her feelings or what she chooses to do. You cannot make her feel interested or manipulate her emotions. You can control your own reaction, though, by practicing indifference. By practicing indifference, you show her that you are emotionally independent and not susceptible to every mood swing or change of heart. Stoic indifference isn't about not caring. Rather, it's about having a healthy detachment from uncontrollable outcomes. It's about realizing that your value is independent of whether she chooses you or not. Ed has a rare level of confidence that makes you unaffected by ephemeral feelings or desires, and this kind of inner strength is very alluring. The reason indifference is so potent is because it fosters a sense of mystery and intrigue. When a woman can't predict your reactions, she starts to wonder why you're not going out of your way to win her over like the others. This curiosity, which sets you apart, piques her interest. Most men show their emotions by reacting to every change in her behavior, but the man who maintains his composure and lack of emotion stands out as someone who is difficult to influence. Consider it this way. If someone seems desperate to sell you something, you turn away. But if they act like they don't need your business, you're interested. This is also true when you approach dating differently. You're not trying to sell yourself. Instead, you're demonstrating that you're already whole and complete, and it's entirely up to her whether or not she joins you. Her lack of desperation makes her want to be a part of your life even more. In the end, indifference isn't about pushing her away. Rather, it's about standing firm in your own value, knowing that you're enough with or without her number 8. The simplicity of indifference lies in its power. It's about living your life without seeking her validation, without succumbing to every emotion, and without losing your sense of self. This Stoic principle makes you a man who grabs women's attention. She will sense your strength, emotional stability, and unwavering confidence, which is what makes you irresistible. The Stoic route to the Stoic way to exceptional masculine performance. Let's bring everything together. We've discussed attraction, patience, indifference, respect, and a lot more. But ultimately, it's not about using gimmicks or deception to persuade her to want you. Rather, it's about becoming the man you were destined to be, a man of integrity and strength. The timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy embodies the essence of masculine excellence. This type of man knows his worth, doesn't chase, and doesn't play games because his life is too focused on things that truly matter. What does it look like to embody masculine excellence? Being a high-value man, not in the superficial sense, but in a way based on inner virtues, means developing a set of fundamental qualities that make you stand out from the crowd. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "The ultimate Stoic lesson is that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Conquering your own mind is the first step toward becoming a man of excellence. It's simple to be reactive, to let emotions control your actions, and to fall into the trap of looking for approval from others. But the true Stoic man looks inward and works on himself every day in an effort to master his thoughts, desires, and impulses. He realizes that his worth comes from his character, not what others think. Living up to these Stoic principles transforms you into a man who doesn't need to chase women, as they are drawn to your calm confidence, emotional stability, and your steadfast sense of direction. This type of genuineness is uncommon and alluring. You're not playing games, you're just leading a life that is consistent with your highest ideals. Your self-control, patience, and limited availability don't draw women to you. Rather, it's your focus on something greater, your pursuit of self-improvement, and your resistance to the influence of every attractive face or fleeting desire. What sets you apart in a world full of men who follow their whims is your journey towards self-mastery. When you choose the Stoic path, you're not only making your dating life better, you're changing every part of your life and leaving a legacy as a man of substance who people respect and aspire to be like. You're not pursuing transient pleasures or flimsy accomplishments. Instead, you're aiming for excellence in its purest form. For those who choose this path, the rewards are profound. You become the kind of man who not only succeeds in relationships, but thrives, forming deep, meaningful connections based on mutual respect and shared values. However, this type of life is not for everyone. It requires discipline, introspection, and a willingness to confront your own weaknesses. In the end, becoming the man women want means accepting yourself, developing your strengths, and mastering your weaknesses. You become the man she craves, not because of some trick or tactic, but because you embody the qualities she's been looking for all along. It's about living a purposeful life, exercising patience, and placing the highest value on your time and character. When you follow the Stoic path, you don't seek approval from others. Instead, you find it within yourself. You also don't manipulate, chase, or settle for less than you deserve. Your self-confidence, happiness, and wholeness make you attractive. Thus, keep in mind the last Stoic lesson. The best to achieve victory, one must master their emotions, wants, and urges. As we near the end of the relationship, you'll discover that everything else, success, respect, and the love you seek, falls into place easily. You won't just be the man she wants, you'll be the man she never realized she needed. Conclusion. After watching this video, let's take a moment to reflect on the topics we've discussed. We now understand why women gravitate towards men who don't pursue them, and how emotionally stable, patient, and calm men captivate them. This is about adopting the Stoic ideas of emotional independence and changing one's perspective, not about playing a game or attempting to control attraction. When you step back, focus on your own life, and stop constantly seeking reassurance from others, you create space for genuine attraction to grow, not being unavailable for no reason, but being emotionally stable, confident, and allowing desire to grow. Inner strength and self-respect are the real powers in dating relationships and even in life. Practicing Stoic principles such as patience and indifference naturally transforms you into a man who doesn't require pursuit. This is because you attract individuals who maintain composure under pressure, don't adapt to changing circumstances, and instead remain steadfast in their principles and goals. These men become not only alluring but also irresistible. He is the kind of man she can rely on for strength, consistency, and trust. Keep in mind that the objective is to become a man of depth, a man who is already complete on his own, not to manipulate events or play a part. By following this path, you'll not only improve your dating life, but also every area of your life. The rewards are deeper connections. You will experience genuine regard and an enduring sense of self-worth, independent of others. If this video struck a chord with you, please share your main takeaway in the comments section below. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone who could apply these Stoic principles in their own relationships. If you want to learn more about how to continue developing your confidence and mental mastery, make sure to watch the suggested videos on the screen. Thank you very much for watching. Continue to live a purposeful life, stay rooted in your principles, and never forget that genuine attraction arises from being the best version of yourself. Until the next time, take care of yourself and keep developing.